Good evening from Swansea, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and it's Sunday Funday here at Wrestling Republic. And you know what that means. It means that we are doing a game of some sort. And today's game, well, we are going to be doing our pound for pound rankings. It's the first time we've done it since June. It was meant to be a monthly thing, but basically nothing happened significant enough in July for us to do it then, and then to be brutally honest with you, time just went flying by in August. But we are doing it today. If you guys haven't seen it before, basically based on purely kayfabe and results, both the men's and women's division worldwide, any company, we are listing our top 10 wrestlers. Now, what's really interesting about this is it's up to us individually how we want to weigh each promotion. For example, me personally, if it's in WWE, it's worth slightly more than AEW because WWE, it's the main promotion. But AEW is very, very close. But then below that, we got New Japan, and we go below that again, we have Ring of Honor, TNA, and all of those. But somebody else on the panel, they could view things differently. But to summarize it, basically, all promotions, all genders, top 10 based on purely kayfabe and results. But I'm not just going to do it on my own, because that would be ridiculously boring. I need to bring in a great panel to have an argument with. And let's kick things off with Clark Taylor. Clark, how are you?
I'm fired up to be here. Turns out I am no longer banned from our local bowling alley. They're under new management.
Hey.
And the pizza was delightful last night, so I'm excited to be here. I've got my top 10 dialed in. It's a funky one, though. Like you said, middle of the year. Lot of sliding up and down on this list. I'm excited to get into it.
Absolutely. I mean, I've got my list, and I've got Clark's list, and I've got Anthony's list, actually, from the last time we did this, so I can actually mention how things compare as we go along, but at least on my list, there's a lot of changes. But it might not be Tuesday, but I am certainly delighted to see the next person. How are you, Shad?
Actually, I am Mr. Sunday Funday himself today, because I got the Triple Crown. You're going to see me on today. You're going to see me in a couple hours on Spotlight. And then you're going to see me tonight reviewing NXT No Mercy. But
Wow.
I'm ready for this list. Let's get it. Mr. Triple Crown himself, Shad.
Absolutely. I'm going to be honest with you. It's been such a hectic weekend. For a split second, and forgotten it's No Mercy tonight. But I mean, what a stacked weekend of professional wrestling we have had. But also joining us to give his list, I kind of spoiled it already. We had the head of opinion here at Wrestling Republic. How are you, Anthony?
I'm doing all right. My list is dramatically different from the last go around. And again, when I do this, it's a snapshot of today. And I am looking at a number of things. The feuds they're in, where they are on the card, what they're doing, star power, all that stuff.
Don't worry, it can't be worse than what when Soul came on and did his. Remember, he did the past 10 years.
You mean Kenny Omega #1, wasn't it? I was not on that one.
He did the last 10 years of wrestling.
An entirely different game.
Yes.
He's like, I'm going to do it this way.
Don't worry, Anthony. I'm not going to do
gold.
In a weird way, I respect it.
S.A. Rios is not on my list.
Oh my gosh, we have Melissa in the chat. Shout out to you, Melissa. I hope you're having a great day. With Mark76 saying you can't talk about the best pound for pound without mentioning John Jones. Well, in this list you can, because he's not a professional wrestler.
That's a great comment.
And also, shout out on the last one, Melissa. It happens a couple times a year. I'm good, I assure you. Don't worry, it's coming back.
It is coming back.
Little
Yeah,
ginger, little honey. We're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't even notice it today, right? It's almost back. You're
Even
almost
better.
at 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at I'd call it like 91. Year I was born. Got him.
But to start off my list, my pound for pound top 10, an honorable mention real quick, Oba Femi, but he's not making it into my top 10, because in at number 10, I am giving it to the person who defeated somebody who, if we did the pound for pound rankings last year, would have been in the top 3 for the entire year, and that was Rhea Ripley. So in at number 10, we have Liv Morgan, the women's world champion herself. She's on a fantastic run at the minute. Yes, she lost yesterday, but I'll blame that on dirty Dominic Mysterio. But that is my number 10 pick. But Clark, what's yours?
My pick at 10 is interesting. I've got a Steiner for the first time on my list. Braun Breaker on the list at 10. Deservedly so. Heck of a run lately. I've got Breaker at 10. I think it's one of those where I don't know that he makes the list next time necessarily. Right this second, Braun Breaker definitively on the list.
He was certainly in contention for mine. We got Melissa in the chat saying she loves Rhea Ripley. Absolutely. But Shad, who's your number 10?
We here in the United States do not have this anymore. Y'all have it. But I do crown and hail our queen. And our queen is Nia Jax, also the women's champion. I think she's been having a phenomenal year this past year. Super dominant, queen of the ring, world champion. Had a great match this past weekend against Michi and Mia Yim. I got Nia.
We unfortunately no longer have a queen either, Shard, but that's a more dark turn. But Anthony, what about you? What's your number 10 pick?
Smooth transition there, Ben. Honestly, this one may be a controversial one, and if we do this again next month, he probably would not be on it. But just the run he's on, all ego, Ethan Page. Honestly, he came in the NXT, quickest person to win the NXT championship, has been killing it there. And it's just more reflection in how AEW dropped the ball with this guy, and he may not be champion after tonight, but I had to include him.
A great choice, no doubt about it. In at number 9, I have the CEO herself, Mercedes Moné. Let's face it, since she's lost WWE, she's lost one match, and that one match was against Willow. She's avenged that match now. She defeated Willow in her AEW debut, plus she was injured in that match. So as far as I'm concerned, you could actually make an argument that she's higher than number 9, but she did lose it. That's the fact of the matter. She's been off with injury, so she's only had a few matches since she's come back. But as of right now, she's number 9 for me, and this is one to keep an eye on in upcoming months because I think she could rise up these rankings, no doubt about it. Who do you have, Clark?
I'm going to dive into the women's division myself here. Over on NXT, we're going to see this title defended at No Mercy tonight. There's a shot Jada Parker slides into this spot, but for right this second, it's Roxanne Perez. Absolutely at 9. Give her flowers while she's still there. Maybe not for so long, though.
Oh, absolutely. And I just realized now I know No Mercies tonight. I'm going to have to get these pound for pound rankings out before then. Otherwise, it could be all wrong before it. But, Shard, who do you have at number 9?
I'm going to go back to the NXT pool like Clark was in, and I'm going to pick our North American champion, Mr. Oba Femi. The dude is a dominant beast. He has been amazing throughout his entire title reign. Truth be told, if we're talking about scariest people on the list, he may be number 1, but I got him here at number 9, and I think we're going to see him continue to climb up the ladder on this list.
Solid pick indeed, and Soul wholeheartedly agrees with that one. But Anthony, by any chance do you, or do you have somebody else in the 9 slot?
I have Rhea Ripley. Since she's come back, it's been one of the most compelling storylines on Raw, and there's no question how over she is and how dominant she was as a women's champion. It made logical sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, like I said earlier on, Rhea Ripley, if we were doing this last year, would have been top 3 for me for the entire year. Obviously, she got hurt to vacate that title, but that's the important thing. She didn't lose it. She vacated it. Of course, since she has lost to Liv Morgan, but she also beat her in that mixed tag team match last night. So an interesting one, no doubt about it. But so is my number 8. And when I say my number 8, some people are going to be very annoyed. They're going to be saying, why isn't your number 8 higher up the list, Ben? Well, I will tell you why. It is very simply because they've lost 2 high-profile matches very recently. One of those matches they've avenged. They lost the championship and then they won it back. And another one of those losses, well, they haven't avenged and they just lost to them. This guy is Will Ospreay. Yes, he's the international champion again, once again now. He won it back in Wembley, and for sure that wins him some points. But it doesn't change the fact that he lost to MJF the first time, in addition to losing to Swerve Strickland very recently as well, going for the AEW championship. But he is fair to feel hard done by in the number 8 slot. But Clark, who do you have at number 8?
I got much deserved in the Bloodline family tree, previously mentioned already. Nia Jax is at 8 for me. Absolutely. Why not? Nothing but dubs. Nothing but dubs on this run. Best run of her career by far, and nothing I don't love about it. That's the brilliance. Don't give up on people that are really talented. And I didn't give up on Nia Jax. 8 is probably the lowest she'll be ranked till the end of this run. So much potential to move up the list. I have no doubt about it. The best work of her career by far.
Absolutely. No, she has been on a hell of a run since winning Queen of the Ring and then winning the WWE Women's Championship off Bayley at SummerSlam and successfully defending it against Michin on this week's episode of SmackDown. But Shad, who do you have at number 8?
CEO, CEO, CEO. My CEO, Mercedes Money. Great title reign that she's had since becoming the TBS champion. Incredible matches against competitors out in Japan. If y'all haven't watched her and Momo Watanabe, you should definitely do it from this past Friday's Capital Collision. She's got 2 belts on her. I'm going with my CEO, Mercedes.
A brilliant choice indeed. I'm still yet to check out Capital Collision, but that match is one which I'll certainly be looking for. Because, yeah, perhaps that could boost her even further up my one in the future. But, Anthony, what about you? Who do you have in that 8 slot?
I have the Queen, Nia Jax. I don't think there's anybody that's had a better run being brought back in a 180 in a performance than Nia. The Queen of the Ring, the women's title, and obviously the incredible run that she's on with the feud with Michin. It's Nia could potentially get higher up the list as the months go by if she continues to perform.
No, that's a very solid choice indeed. A couple of Nia Jax picks in the 3rd round, but we do have Soul given his 3rd round 8th pick, whatever you want to call it, and he is going with.
This is number 10 pick.
We got fantasy coming up.
Yeah, that's true. Who is his number 10 pick? So, we want to know your number 10 pick, but he's got Obafemi at 9.
I love the fact that he just went straight to 9. Like, he just
I respect it.
10.
He skipped one.
He said 10 don't
I
matter.
respect it. 10 is hologram. Wild shout.
I think it's time to send him to Shadow Band World.
The speed of the response was iconic. Go, Soul, go.
That is
Give us
gold.
11. Give us 11.
This is where we get sidetracked with souls.
Hologram just doing all those flips on Collision. This is, well, actually, you're going to go on a sidetrack for a second. I haven't watched Collision apart from the one I was at in a few weeks, right, guys? I turn it on last night and I see Top Flight and Leo Rush and a few others all dressed up as pilots. What's going on there? Anybody?
I wouldn't know, but
I think it was a Top Gun joke.
But honestly, they have time to reverse course because no one watched Collision anyway. So I think they could potentially go. This didn't happen.
Layla Gray is their manager, and I think she looks great in it. The other gentlemen look kind of silly with it. So just let Layla Gray be the star and let her, have the stewardess gear, and then the rest of y'all wear wrestling gear. Y'all Come on, man.
I turned it on. I saw that for about 2 seconds, and I was like, it's too early in the morning for this. But what it is never too early in the morning for is to watch a match by Zack Sabre Jr., and he is my number 7 pick. He is somebody who's had a hell of a 2024, and just when you thought it couldn't get any better, this man won the G1 Climax. I don't care what anybody says. I don't think you can even make an argument about it. It is the toughest tournament in professional wrestling, right? I think he wrestled 12 matches across it. 12? And I mean, all of them were like, well, nearly all of them, apart from the one which I think was like 30 seconds, were like 20 minutes long. And it's all within a few weeks. It is absolute hell. It hurts your body. But this man put on banger after banger after banger. You might as well call him Sheamus. And he is my pick at number 7. But Clark, who's yours?
So for me, I've got a guy that's moved up 2 spots on this list here. Probably the nastiest mother friend of the show on my list, Oba Femi. This dude is destined to be number 1 pound for pound. Just mean-spirited. He beats people up for a living. It's a real simple job. And it's amazing how good he is at it, because he just hurts them and then they go away and then he moves on to someone else. Everything about it, I love it. Oba's work this year has been off the charts, and we forget how new to the sport this guy is at times. He looks like a veteran out there. He feels like a veteran out there. He can talk, he can walk, he can hurt. And I like all 3 of those things. Oba Femi at 7. Hopefully, in my eyes, the lowest I'll ever have to rank him for the rest of my career.
Wow, it could well be the case as well. Oba Femi, I've always said it, Oba Femi, Braun Breaker, The Rock and Stone Cold of this era. Don't at me, because I will stand by my point. I said it when Oba Femi just debuted and Braun Breaker was still in NXT, and guess what? Everyone called me crazy. Now more and more and more people are coming around on the idea. I'm sticking by that take. But Anthony, who are you sticking with at number 7?
Number 7, I have Swerve. I would typically have him higher, but I have other people. But Swerve really turned his world title reign around. When it first started, it was very lackluster. Shad and Clark and I all said that on Thursday's shows when we were doing them. But he really completely turned them around, and he had a great match at All In with Danielson.
Absolutely, he truly did. Had a great reign as AEW World Champion. We got Soul with Nia Jax at number 7. But Shard, what about you?
Number 7, I have the Ring General Gunther. He's been having a phenomenal title reign. He's got accolade upon accolade. He's built in a great storyline this past Bash at Berlin with Randy Orton. You know, wasn't the biggest fan of the match. Thought it was decent, but I think Gunther, all in all, he might move up to the top 3 by the end of the year. Just how he set his trajectory. But at the moment, I got him at number 7.
Fair enough. I'm going to be honest with you, Shard. I massively disagree with that pick. I mean, he's only lost 1 match the entire time he's been on the main roster. 1 match, right? Nobody like him, but we'll get into that later on. But Clark, who do you have at number 6 now, Clark?
It's Liv Morgan. Absolutely deserved. I believe up on the list from last time. I'm not totally positive, but I mean, heck of a run she's been on. Obviously did take the loss this weekend, ironically. Otherwise, I think she could have been higher on the list.
Wow.
Given what she's accomplished recently. But Liv Morgan is my 6th pick.
A great pick, no doubt about it. And indeed, she is up on your list, because on the last one, you had her at number 8. Now she is at number 5. A big improvement for Liv Morgan, the Women's World Champion.
No, 6, not 5. She's at 6.
Oh, never mind.
Still up.
I can't count. It is still up. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I really made that mistake on my notes. But now let's move on. Shad Huda, you have number 6.
At number 6, hold on, let me go to my notes. Number 6, I have someone that you picked earlier. I have ZSJ, Zack Sabre Jr. I had the due diligence of watching this past G1, and ZSJ put in a ton of work, a lot of great matches on his behalf. And like you said, it ain't easy to win that. I think that put a lot of volume on me wanting to pick him. Also, off the note that I'm just a big fan of the guy. He's a technical savant, and he's got a chance to move up even more because I believe he called his shot to potentially get some gold. So, big
Yep.
CSJ fan. I got him at number 6. I'm sorry, Gunther. I'm sorry.
He's called his shot earlier than anyone else ever has done in the G1 2. He is confident. Most people wait until Wrestle Kingdom. He said, no, 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 I want to win the belt now, and I'll be fully in his corner at King of Pro Wrestling. But, Anthony, what about you? Who do you have in not the number 5 slot, but the number 6 slot?
I think this person's lower than I had him the last time. Will Ospreay. He's been on a tear in AEW. Obviously, he put on the unbelievable master class with MJF at All In, winning the international title for the second time. So yeah, I had to go Ospreay.
Nice indeed. No, absolutely. He is a heck of a talent, no doubt about it. And actually, well, I was about to say Soul agrees with you, but he's getting ahead of himself now as well. He's sending in number 5. You're getting caught up like I am, Soul. But his number 5 is Will Ospreay's number 6 is Tony Storm. But we are now officially halfway. And I've got Liv Morgan, Mercedes Moné, Will Ospreay, ZSJ, and at number 6, Nia Jax. Meanwhile, Clark has at number 10, Bron Breakker, Roxanne Perez, Nia Jax, Obafemi, and at number 6, Liv Morgan. Shard has Nia Jax, Obafemi, Mercedes Moné, Gunther, and Zack Sabre Jr. at number 6. And Anthony has in at number 10, Ethan Page, then Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, Swerve Strickland, and Will Ospreay at number 6. But now it's the top 5. Let's get straight into things, because you guys better throw your wands up, because I am acknowledging my tribal chief Roman Reigns. Now listen, he's not had a match since WrestleMania, and that's why he's down 3 places since June, right? But at the end of the day, this man had thousands of days of being WWE champion and lost to only one man in that entire time. And I'm not going to forget about a reign like that anytime soon. He is slowly falling, so if he doesn't become active soon, he is going to fall more. But for right now, Roman Reigns is still number 5 on my list, down 3 places from June. But Clark, who do you have?
I got money. My CEO, absolutely. Mercedes, deservedly so, staying in the top 5 where she belongs. Picking up W's, taking names, cashing checks, doing what CEOs do. That's her gimmick. That's her deal. It's actually who she is. And I love it. At 5, Mercedes Moné.
A great choice, no doubt about that. The current AEW TBS champion, the New Japan Strong Women's champion. Brilliant choices. But Shad, who do you have in the number 5 slot?
Number 5, I got the Billy Goat. Bah! Will Ospreay. Doing what he does, man. Having match upon match upon match upon match that makes your mind explode. Getting back that title that he, got screwed over. And yeah, man, I mean, Ospreay, he's always in these positions. Like you said, lost, so it knocks him down a little bit, but he could very well be in the top 3 to 1 by the end of the year. Just how great he is. But I got Will.
Absolutely. I mean, when you talk about performers of the year, I mean, I think it's hard to argue that's not him. But when it comes to kayfabe, you are right. He has still been winning those accolades. The current AEW International Champion. A great year, no doubt about it. But Anthony, who do you have to kick off your top 5?
Okay, this person was not on the list last time, but it's all about making an impact. And I don't think there's been anybody this year that made a bigger impact upon their debut than Jacob Fatu. That man is a once-in-a-generation. He delivers every time he's out there. I mean, he was beating down Roman Reigns while wearing a boot for an injured shin. I mean, the guy's an animal.
He certainly is. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I can probably only think of a few names in WWE history who have come in as quickly as he has and been booked as strong as he's looked. Seriously, I mean, they took the Tag Team Championship off him because he looked too strong for it, basically. I mean, who else can you say that for? Wild. Wild stuff indeed. A fantastic pick there, Anthony, to kick off your top 5. Now, in at 4, I have somebody who's actually up 1 place from June, despite the fact they've just lost a championship. If this was a month ago, I'm going to be honest, they would have been a couple of places higher than this, but they did lose at Wembley, and that guy is Swerve Strickland. This guy, what a reign he had. He defeated pretty much everybody who did challenge him up until Danielson. He had an absolutely brilliant reign, thoroughly entertaining. And I mean, the guy, he's become a star now. He was picking up those W's, and he proved himself as a worthy AEW World Champion. So he's my pick at number 4. But Clark, who do you have?
You're on mute.
The curse of the mute hits again.
Little known fact about me, I sometimes forget to unmute, but also little known fact about me, my original due date was 9/1/91 today, which would have been 33 years ago, obviously. But the number 4 is valuable for me because I was like, Mama, no, we can wait. We'll see you on the 4th. At number 4, I've got Mariah May. And it was we can wait, and it was worth the wait. Deserves this spot on the list. Absolutely. Took down Toni Storm, who occupied a very high ranking on my list last time. Took her down, took her out. New champ, ready to rock and roll. Mariah May, number 4.
Excellent choice, no doubt indeed. We love Mariah May because we love Arsenal fans. Shout out to you, Mariah. I am mad about you, in the words of Nigel McGuinness. But she actually doesn't make my list, Clark. But that is a brilliant choice, no doubt about it. Of course, won that AEW Women's Championship in Wembley against Toni Storm. What a match that was. Shad, who do you have at number 4?
Yeah, this is where we get a matching pick because my number 4 is our former AEW champion, Mr. Swerve Strickland. Man, Swerve, like y'all mentioned before, is someone that may have not had the longest reign, but how incredible of a talent he is, the stories that he was able to tell, the match quality he was able to put out is going to be in the record books in regards to title reigns for, just historical reasons, being the first African American AEW champion, but just everything that he accomplishes. And this just leaves the taste in our mouths that we need another Swerve title reign at some point. He's solidified himself in the record books as one of the top guys in AEW, and he's one of the top young stars that they have on the roster. Fortunately, losing a title match at Wembley ain't gonna have you at the number 1, 2, or 3 for me. But who knows, man? Maybe next year he'll be back as a solidified number 1. But he's had a heck of a year. Him and Danielson is one of my favorite matches this entire year. And I mean, dude, he's so over. Him and Prince Nana are like the 1A, 1B, like 2-on-2 tandem. They're like Kobe and Shaq in the flesh. And yes, Prince Nana is Shaquille O'Neal in the situation because he's like 7'8".
Yes.
250 pounds. I saw a video of Prince Nana wrestling back as an enhancement talent back in the day, man. He was a kind of a little swole dude back in the day, man.
Oh. I cannot say that I've seen that, but now I will have to check it out. But Anthony, who do you have?
Okay, this is somebody that may not appear on the list next go around, but a snapshot of today. I go Bryan Danielson after putting on that unbelievable match with Swerve and obviously winning the title literally almost a little more than 10 years to the day that he won the WWE Championship at 30. It was an awesome moment with him celebrating with his family, with his kids who were not around when he won it the first time. So it was a really cool moment, and he was one of the best in the world, and he'll probably go out as one of the best.
An excellent choice indeed. So excellent, in fact, that is my pick at number 3. I mean, when I was doing this list, right, I was really struggling as where to put Danielson because the last 2 months specifically, 2.5 months, he's been amazing. And by that, I mean results-wise. He won the Owen. He then won matches against Jeff Jarrett. and other matches as well in Mexico, and then went, of course, to All In. And like you said, Anthony, he won the big one. He won the AEW World Championship against Swerve Strickland, a guy who's really proved himself this year, like me and Shad said in the last round. But I went back and looked at his results for pretty much the entirety of the year, and he's lost a couple of matches, and by that I literally mean two. One was against Zack Sabre Jr., and the other one was against Will Ospreay. Now, he hasn't got revenge for either of those losses as of yet, although he did previously beat Zack Sabre Jr. before, so that kind of does balance it out. But the amount of matches which Danielson's been having, at the level he's been having them, like in the main event of a stadium show, I think that solidifies him at number 3 in my personal opinion. But what about you, Clark?
So I have exactly the same pick. I've got Dan Bryanson at 3. And heck of a run he's been on, a champion. If we're doing an all-time pound for pound list, maybe even higher, pound for pound, by the nature of what these lists are. I don't know if you've ever seen anybody better. Probably the highest I'll rank him in our lifetimes, given what's left, unless we do an all-time list, but much deserved. Bryan Danielson, absolutely at 3.
Absolutely. Well, we've had Danielson 3 times in a row now. Of course, Anthony at number 4, and then me and you, Clark, at number 3. Shard, are you going to make it a 4th?
My number 3 is going to be Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes is my number 3. I think he's had a phenomenal year in regards to storylines, and he's had a great suit of matches. But there's just 2 people ahead of him that me personally, in regards to matches and a body of work, I've enjoyed a little bit more. Maybe that's just how the WWE rolls, where they don't wrestle as much. But Cody's up there. He's still the face of the biggest company in the world. So don't get mad at me, Codemeister, but there may be someone in that company I might have ahead of you, buddy. So, but I got
Wow.
Did you just hit a Codemeister on me?
Yeah, that's
Just
what you
made
call
my
him,
whole
right?
day.
You call him that? No, I don't know. I'll call him
It
that.
just made my whole day.
But, Anthony, who do you have in the number 3 slot?
Okay, this person has not wrestled since he's come back, but number 3 for me is Roman Reigns. When he came back, there are stars and then there's megastars. We all knew Roman was coming back at SummerSlam. It did not dampen it at all. You knew he was a megastar, and he's going to be in one of the most compelling things as we go forward. So yeah, Roman's got to be number 3.
Absolutely a great choice. And like we said, the last 3 years before that, the man was WWE champion, undisputed, the greatest reign of all time in my personal opinion. But we're now moving on to number 2. And this is when it gets interesting, because I really do think number 1 and number 2 are undeniable. I don't see an argument for anybody else but these 2 in the top 2 slots, although other people have already put them in other slots, so I guess that's not the case. But in at number 2, I've got the Ring General, Gunther. I mean, this guy, he had a super long, not quite as long as Roman, but a super long title reign. Of course, it was the Intercontinental Championship. He then lost to Sami Zayn, and then he went straight back. He won the King of the Ring tournament. He went on to SummerSlam, and then he won the World Championship. Now, there was, a little argument that perhaps the King of the Ring final, well, it wasn't quite clean, was it? Orton's shoulders were up off the mat. Well, yesterday he made that clean. He cleared the situation up when he cleanly defeated Randy Orton. So Gunther in at number 2, undeniable for me personally. But Clark, who do you have?
Wait, what did you want to talk about?
Oh gosh,
I've got the Meister himself. Sorry, shot broke me. I could barely even choke that out just now. I've got the Code Meister. At number 2, Cody Rhodes, WWE Universal Champion. Mr. Ty Clips himself checks in at 2, and we'll just leave it there.
The Codemeister General. But, Shad, who do you have at number 2?
I have the former leader of the Yes Movement, the American Dragon, the man who made me shed a tear last week when he was in the middle of the ring with his family, not having to retire. The man, the myth, the legend, Bryan Danielson. That is my pick at number 2. He very well may be the best male wrestler this year, in my opinion. I'm loving everything about it. I like this second win that we're gonna get to see. I like the anticipation of will this be the last match we have? And with all due respect, I gotta have him within the top of the list. So number 2, Danielson.
A great pick, no doubt about it, but I am absolutely fascinated now as to who you have at number 1, Shard, because you've already had Bryan Danielson, you've had Cody Rhodes, you've had Gunther, you've had Swerve, you've had Will Ospreay. I'm going to be fascinated to hear that, but before we do, Anthony, I've got to get your pick at number 2. Who's it going to be?
Okay, I have a shocking one that'll probably shock Clark especially. And nobody could say I'm not fair with these things. For number 2, he's had a phenomenal year, but the title reign has been a little lukewarm as far as the matchups. Cody is my number 2.
I actually am shocked. I feel shocked.
I am. I'm shocked. I
feel
really,
shocked.
really am.
I feel shocked. I'm in shock.
Yeah.
You are in shock indeed.
Unfortunately, that's how I feel about him too. But I don't put that on him. I think they could give that man a little better booking. Right?
The feuds haven't been compelling.
Honestly,
And no
now
one
that
wants
he's the
no
Meister, I kind of feel like I would have slid him up to 1 if I knew that was a nickname.
Nobody wants to see Cody against Solo. Nobody's looking for a solo match. With
That's true. Nobody wants that. That is true. But at the end of the day, this is a kayfabe ranking. This is based on results, right? This guy, he returned to WWE. He beat Seth Rollins 3 times. He then got hurt. He then came back. He won the Royal Rumble. He lost to Roman Reigns because of that man you just mentioned, Solo Sikoa. He then went on. He basically defeated everybody for a year. I think he lost to Brock Lesnar, but he did get that win back. He then went on. He won the Royal Rumble once again. He went on to WrestleMania. And what did he do at the biggest WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 40? He defeated the longest reigning champion of this generation, Roman Reigns, the greatest of all time in my eyes. And then guess what he's done since? He's defeated everybody who stepped up to him. Solo pinned him, but he then pinned Solo at SummerSlam. Zero doubt in my mind, 100% undeniable to me that Cody Rhodes is currently the number 1 pound for pound wrestler on the planet Earth. Clark, who's your number 1?
Ben, I demand your attention right now. I've got the ring. Gunther at 1. No doubt about it. He's earned it. Deserves it. He's my number 1. The ring. He's awesome. Monster shout out Ludwig Kaiser for that intro last night. It was nothing short of delightful. And most of Gunther's matches have been that way. It freaks me out that Randy Orton looks bigger than him, but despite that, he is 1 on my list.
Absolutely, a great choice, no doubt. Like I said, I could see Cody Rhodes or Gunther. For me, I went with Cody Rhodes, but Anthony, I'm going to go to you next because I have a feeling you might be siding with Clark on this one.
Yeah, it's King Gunther. I mean, the man's only lost like 2 or 3 times one-on-one. Had the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Won the King of the Ring, and his matchup so far with the world title have been compelling. He's been the top performer in this business. He can have a great match with anybody. He elevates everybody. He elevates every title he holds. He is a once-in-a-generation future GOAT, whatever you want to call him. Gunther is the guy.
Absolutely a great shout, but I am absolutely fascinated as to who Shard's number 1 pick is going to be. Because like I said, he's had Danielson, he's had Cody, he's had Swift, he's had Will Ospreay, and he had Gunther at number 7. Shard, who do you have at number 1?
Listen, fellas, if I were to tell you this champion's accolades you got to consider a lot of things in the perspective. A fighting champion means a lot to me. This individual has had 13 title defenses per my numbers and stats that I'm looking at, is a anchor of their division, a person that is going against competition that is not the most name worthy, but are creating names in the process. This individual is a young, up and coming superstar, and this individual is the best women's wrestler in 2024, in my opinion. With the number one power ranking for me, I am picking who is going to win and defend her title tonight, Miss Roxanne Perez. Put her at number one any day of the week this year. This girl is putting in a lot of work. And unlike the Codemeister, unlike Mr. Swerve when I drive, and unlike the dragon that's going to fly away from the business because he is a coward, she is here to stay because she is young and she is ready to take on all the competition she needs to take. Jordan Grace, scratch that. She beat her. Tatum Paxley, who's the GOAT, scratch that. Lola Vice, tonight Jada Parker, the names are on there. I got Roxanne Perez at number one, Ben. Don't kick me out.
Hey, wild shout, but I respect it. I respect it.
Nervous too. Roxanne.
Will the Instagram comments? That is the question when we do upload this late. I'm going to be honest, it is going to be tomorrow. So I'm going to put a disclaimer when I post that it's before NXT No Mercy.
Oh,
but
you think people read those things? No, they'll just complain.
Oh, they don't anyway. But hey,
they are gonna chew me up for sure. But it's okay. I like that.
But we will run with it. We will be back next month for another one of these. Hopefully the first week of October, unless something else is on. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Clark, for joining me. Thank you, Shad, for joining me. Thank you, Anthony, for joining me as well. We'll be back tomorrow for a little bit of Mailbag Monday. You guys can submit your questions via our Instagram stories. And make sure that tonight, after NXT No Mercy, you come right here to the Wrestling Republic YouTube channel and you watch NXT Off the Air. Plus, if you're looking for some more content to watch, in 1 hour from now, pretty much exactly at, what is it, 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, we've got Sunday Night Spotlight with Shad, with Drizzy, and with Megan. That will be a banger for sure. Thank you, Melissa, who says we've had a good show today. And Jacob from our MMA group is asking us why we're posting it tomorrow. Well, the truth of the matter is, we're all off to do a Wrestling Republic fantasy draft. On that note, we'll see you guys tomorrow.